Yeah. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Testing. Welcome to another episode of the Big Nino Podcast Show. This is the one and only Big Nino, broadcasted live from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm going to keep the tone down a little bit because it's like 4:30 in the morning. I just got off of work and my family's asleep, so I don't want to wake them up. But just want to talk about a few things that have been going on the news right now. There's just some articles that I've been looking at. I was reading this morning. But how are y'all doing though? What's your weekend? What was your weekend like? What y'all do this weekend? This past weekend, I celebrated my son and my nephew's birthday. We had a little get together. I rented a little spot where they had go-karts and jumpy house and shit. And I brought invited a couple of cousins and we just chilled and had some pizza and shit. And that was it. Sunday, I was recovering from not sleeping for 3 days, adequate sleep. I was doing little power naps because, I was trying to stay awake. I had a lot of tasks to do, but Sunday I pretty much recovered. I slept all day Sunday. And Monday just work and same old and study. And today is Tuesday morning. It's 4:30 in the morning. Got classes in a couple hours, so I gotta take a shower and get ready. Everybody be up in about an hour with my son and my lady, and we'll have some breakfast and get the day cracking. But let me read this cool article and shit that it says the bedtime routines for four exceptionally successful people. Now, never mind, I'm not gonna read that one. Now, this is an article that says 10 things you should never do if you want to succeed in life. Now, this article was published on the Business Insider. It was actually published last week on the 13th. But number one is, do not thoughtlessly waste other people's time. Every time you're late to an appointment or meeting, it says your time is more important. Every time you wait until the grocery clerk finishes ringing you up to search for your debit card, that says you couldn't care less if others have to wait unnecessarily. And every time you take 3 minutes to fill your oversized water bottle while a line stacks up behind you, says you're in your own little world and your world is the only world that matters. Small irritating things, but basically no big deal. Wrong. People who don't notice the small ways they inconvenience others tend to be oblivious when they do it in a major way. How you treat people when it doesn't really matter, especially when you're a leader, says everything about you. Act like other people around you have more urgent needs than yours, and you will never go wrong, and you will definitely be liked. So that's number one. Number two, ignoring people beneath your level. Don't ignore people beneath your level. There's an older guy at the gym that easily weighs 350 pounds and understandably struggles on the aerobic and weight equipment. Hats off, he's in there trying. Yet nobody talks to him or even seems to notice him. It's like he's invisible. Why? He doesn't fit in. We all do it. When we visit a company, we talk to people we're supposed to talk to. When we attend a civic event, we talk to the people we're supposed to talk to. We breeze right by the technicians and talk to the guy who booked us to speak, even though the techs are the ones who make us look and sound good on stage. Here's an easy rule of thumb. Nod whenever you make eye contact, or smile, or gasp. Even say hi, just act like people exist. We'll automatically like you for it. And remember, you as someone who engages even when there's nothing in it for you. So, that's a pretty good one. A lot of times we go places and we get invited to like a party or to an event. And then it's true, we're only like talking to the guy or to the person that invited us, and the rest is really awkward. We're like, with these strangers, and we don't even introduce ourselves, and that can become pretty awkward. So, that says a lot about you when you do introduce yourself. That kind of shows power, and therefore people like you. They're like, it attracts, you know what I mean? And it is as simple as saying, hey, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. That's it. So that's a good tip. But number 3 is never ask for too much, especially too soon. A guy you don't know asks you for a favor, a big time-consuming favor. You're politely declined. He asks again. You decline again. Then he wipes out the need card. But it's really important to me. You have to. I really need it. Maybe he does in fact really need whatever it is, but a person's needs are his or her problem. The world doesn't owe someone anything. No one is entitled to advice or mentoring or success. The only thing a person is entitled to is what he or she earns. People tend to help people who first help themselves. People tend to help people who first help them. And people definitely befriend people who look out for other people first, because we all want more of those people in our lives. So there's a lot of truth to that. There's a Chinese saying that says, what was it? Oh yeah, you first need to give before you receive. You know what I'm saying? Like, because whenever you give to people and you do stuff for people, automatically, psychologically, they feel like they owe you. You know what I mean? But then whenever you start asking for people and you're like pushing, you're like, hey, can you do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you tend to rub people the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because we all know those kind of people that they're always asking for favors. They always want this. But whenever you ask them for something, they act like you're asking them to fucking give up their life or something, and people respect real shit, you know what I'm saying? Real motherfuckers that take the time out to do something for someone or for you, so they'll automatically repay it, just to keep you in their lives. So yeah, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask for too much. Instead, you should do more for people, and people will want to do more for you. And whenever someone asks you for something, a favor, don't be the one that's like, well, what's in it for me? You know what I'm saying? Because then that's like, motherfuckers won't want to help you. You know what I'm saying? Because as humans, yeah, everybody is self-interested. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to throw it in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? People know that you got needs too. When your time comes, you're gonna take care of you. So, and number 4. Don't ignore people in genuine need. At the same time, some people aren't in a position to help themselves. They need a hand, a few dollars, some decent food, or a warm coat. Though I don't necessarily believe in karma, I do believe good things always come back to you in the form of feeling good about yourself. And that's the reason enough to help people who find themselves at a disadvantage. Now that's true, I believe that, helping people in genuine need, because you ever done something, you know what I'm saying? Like like, just give homeless people some money, you know what I'm saying, on the side of the road. That makes your day better, you know what I'm saying? It might be $1, $2. You give them something, you give them $1, and then you feel like a real nigga, you know what I'm saying? You're like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm helping out, I'm $1, $2 is, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you go to church and you pray, you know what I'm saying? And you get that spiritual, you're spiritually quenched, your thirst, you know what I'm saying? You're like, you feel good, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like clears your mind, it clears your head, and it's the same thing whenever you do grimy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I said in one of my last episodes, like, you gotta live with what you do, you know what I'm saying? And if you do some scandalous things, some scandalous shit down the line, that's gonna fuck with you, you know what I mean? It's gonna be like, damn, like, it's gonna hurt your self-esteem, you know what I mean? You're gonna be like, damn, I'm a shitty motherfucker, I'm a shitty person, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself, right? So if you do real shit, you're nice to people, you keep it 100, shit, you living with yourself, so you feel like a real nigga, so you living with a real motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So you're like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I keep it real, you know what I mean? And that helps you to keep your mind, you know what I'm saying, on point, and to have good spiritual, be good with yourself and be good with the world. Number 5, never ask a question so you can talk. You ask a guy at lunch, hey, do you think social media marketing is effective? Well, he answers, I think under the right circumstances. Wrong, you interrupt. I've never seen the ROI. I've never seen a bump in direct sales. Plus, awareness is not a measurable or even an important goal. And you drone on why he desperately tries to escape. Don't shoehorn in your opinions under a false pretense. Only ask a question if you genuinely want to know the answer. And when you do speak again, ask a follow-up question that helps you better understand the person's point of view. People like people who are genuinely interested in them, not in themselves. So there you go, don't ask. Basically, that's like, don't ask no dumb questions and shit that you already know the answer to. Or you ask someone their opinion, and then you're like, no, well, I don't like your opinion. Then you start, like, the motherfuckers gonna be like, then what the fuck did you ask me? So only ask people shit if you're genuinely gonna, sit there and listen to them. Not if you're gonna sit there and argue with them about their opinion and what they think. Number 6, don't pull the, do you know who I am? Okay, so maybe they don't take it to the Reese Witherspoon level, but many people whip out some form of the I'm too important for this card. Maybe the line is too long, or the service isn't sufficiently personal, or they aren't shown their deserved level of respect. Say you really are somebody. People always like you better when you don't act like you know you're somebody, or that you think it entitles you to a different treatment. Yeah, so don't pull the do you know who I am? Like, motherfuckers, don't nobody give a fuck. I guess don't be stuck up, and don't think you're overqualified for shit, because at the end of the day you can basically be humble, because at the end of the day you could always end up one step back, or you might be a manager somewhere, or the boss somewhere, and you never know, you might be demoted, and the guy you were trying to belittle ends up behind you, above you. So yeah, the world, like they say, el mundo da muchas vueltas. You never know where you're gonna find yourself. So like they say, the same people you see on the way up are the same people you'll see on the way down. So keep that in mind. Another one is number 7. Don't forget to dial it back. An unusual personality is a lot of fun until it isn't. Yet when the going gets tough or a situation gets stressful, some people just can't stop expressing their individuality. Look, We know you're funny. We know you're quirky. We know you march to the beat of your own drum. Still, there's a time to play and a time to be serious. A time to be irreverent and a time to conform. And a time to challenge and a time to back off. Knowing when the situation requires you to stop justifying your words or actions with an unspoken "hey, that's just me being me" can often be the difference between being likable and being an ass. There you go. So don't be so rebellious. Be a little more cooperative. Like I said, cooperation and conversation rules the nation. No man is an island. You're always going to depend on other people, no matter how independent you are. So, be a likable person, I guess. And number 8 is don't mistake self-deprecation for permission. You know how it's okay when you make fun of certain things about yourself, but not for other people to make fun of you for those same things, like a receding hairline, your weight, a struggling business or career, or your spouse and kids. It's okay when you poke a little gentle fun at yourself, but the last thing you want to hear are bald or money or "do you want fries with that" jokes. Sometimes self-deprecation is genuine, but it's often a mask for insecurity. Never assume people who make fun of themselves give you permission to poke the same fun at them. Only tease when you know it will be taken in the right spirit. Otherwise, if you feel the need to be funny, make fun of yourself. That's true, man. That reminds me of one time, me and my homeboy, we took a road trip to St. Louis, and we went out there to an event, and we decided to we decided to get some dinner before we went back to the hotel, and we stopped at a Waffle House, and we were getting some waffles, and you know what I'm saying, me, like, I'm a funny motherfucker, you know what I mean, like, I'm loud as shit, you know what I'm saying, I laugh a lot, I'm a giggly nigga, you know what I mean, I'm just cool, you know what I mean, I always like to feel good and shit, and I always like to crack jokes, and I can take jokes, you know what I mean, I like motherfuckers that, you know what I'm saying, like, when you grow up in the hood, you know what I'm saying, in schools in the hood, you always gotta be quick with the comebacks, you know what I mean, with the yo mama jokes, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta be a pro at roasting motherfuckers, you know what I mean? So I always got jokes, you know what I mean? And there was this one guy, this cool cat, you know what I'm saying, he was cool, he kind of looked like Aladdin. The dude looked like Aladdin and shit, and he was in the back making the food, and then I ordered chicken and waffles, but these motherfuckers gave me some grilled chicken because they didn't have no fucking chicken tenders, or they didn't really do chicken and waffles, I guess, at the Waffle House. So they gave me like a grilled chicken on top of a waffle. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, hey, Aladdin. But I was being funny, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like mad or nothing. I was like, what's up with this chicken or some shit? And then he came over there, and then, you know what I'm saying, I I can't remember what I said, but I was just roasting this dude, but I was being funny though, you know what I mean? I was being cool and shit. I was shaking his hand. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Cause it was just him and shit, and all females in there. I was like, you being there macking them down or whatever, and just, just clowning the dude, and, laughing at him and laughing with him, and then, I thought that, he was having fun, and he was cool, you know what I mean? He didn't get mad or nothing. But then after he had a Twinkie or something, he was getting ready to get off of work, and then he had, like, I think 2 Twinkies or some shit. I think his coworkers had given them to him, and then I was like, damn, you the Twinkie napper or some shit. I can't remember what the fuck I said, but anyway, he started talking about, he was like, these are for my kids, And then I was like, oh yeah. He was like, yeah, I guess he had like 2 kids. One of them was like sick. Man, it was like he started telling me this fucked up story. One of his kids was sick. He had like this fucked up, I can't remember what it was, but he had some condition. And then those were his young kids. One of them was like 3, the other one was like 5. And then he said that was his second family, and he was so happy because his first family, he said that his first son and his baby, his first wife, she died. I think she got in a car wreck. And then a couple months later, his son got hit by a car. And you know what I'm saying? It was fucked up. I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So I started thinking, I was just roasting this dude, and I was like having a good time, like just because I felt good. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean he was in a good state of mind. You know what I mean? And then I was like, damn, you need to be careful how you joke with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially people that you don't know, because you don't know what the fuck they might be going through and shit. You know what I mean? They might smile a little bit and laugh with you, but you know what I'm saying? You might be saying some hurtful shit. So I apologized to the dude. I was like, damn, dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I was like, my bad. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to. But he was cool. He was like, no, he was like, this shit's funny. The shit you were saying was funny. I was like, but, so I gave him a little lecture and shit, and told him how much I admired him and shit, being a good dad, because, a lot of dads and shit, the motherfuckers don't want to work at no fast food, or they don't want to work nights and shit, and they're deadbeats, and you know what I mean, they don't want to take care of their kids, and here's this dude is, you know what I'm saying, working long hour shifts and shit, taking care of 2 kids, one of them sick, and I was like, that's just shit, the world needs more men like you. And but yeah, man, that was a lesson that I learned that day. Don't be so quick to judge, and not judge, but joke with people. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what they're going through. Your life might be cool and shit, and you might not be going through nothing, but they might be going through some battles and shit, some deep shit. You know what I mean? And number 9 is the humble brag. Humble bragging is a form of bragging that tries to cover the brag with a veneer of humility, so you can brag without appearing to brag. Keyword is appearing, because it's still easy to tell humble braggers are quite tickled with themselves. For example, here's a tweeted humble brag from actor Stephen Fry. Oh dear, don't know what to do at the airport. Huge crowd, but I'll miss my plane if I stop and do photos. Oh dear, don't want to disappoint. Your employees don't want to hear how stressed you are about your upcoming TED Talk. They don't want to hear how hard it is to maintain 2 homes. Before you brag, humbly or not, business or personal, think about your audience. A gal who is a size 14 doesn't want to hear you complain that normally you're a size 2, but you're a size 4 in Prada because its sizes run small. Or better yet, don't brag. Just be proud of what you've accomplished. Let others brag for you. If you've done cool things, don't worry, they will. See, that's pretty much true. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's like we all brag. Like, I might brag on accident, and it might seem like I'm bragging. I might just, like, I remember my homeboy. He was like, he was telling me, yeah, you should, look, and it might, like, just me giving this example might sound like I'm trying to humble brag, but he was saying, he was like, do this podcast. He was like, cause you help me a lot. He was like, you help everybody a lot, and all the shit that you be saying, you know what I'm saying, it's valuable and people need to hear it. And he was like, cause you've accomplished a lot of things in your life, for being from where we're from. You know what I'm saying? Like you're different. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me that, and I was like, nah. I was like, I'm not gonna get on there and say all that shit. And I was like, that's your job. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how he took it, because he kind of looked at me like, or not looked at me, but he kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was that awkward silence, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't like to brag. But sometimes I humble brag accidentally and people take it the wrong way, or you know what I'm saying, or people might think you're like, oh, this motherfucker thinks, you know what I'm saying. I'm not humble, so I'll tell you that right now. I'm not a humble motherfucker, but I'm not gonna sit on here and try to, you know what I'm saying, tell everybody what I'm doing and everything I've done, you know, to try to like sell myself so that you can like me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm doing this podcast, you know, it's like, if you want to listen to me, you just gotta trust that I'm the shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you why you should like my podcast or why you should fuck with me, and you know what I mean? But yeah, I guess people humble bragging. I myself, you know, so I guess I'm gonna take that one into consideration. Just not talk about yourself at all, or not even talk about your life, I guess. But number 10, moving on to number 10, is do not push your opinions. You know great things, cool things, great things, awesome. But only share them in the right settings. If you're a mentor, share away. If you're a coach or a leader, share away. If you're the guy who just started a paleo diet, don't tell us all what to order unless we ask. What's right for you may not be right for others. Shoot, it might not even turn out to be right for you. Like most things in life, offering helpful advice is all about picking your spots, just like winning friends and influencing people. That's true, man. Like, I have trouble with that too. You know, I'm not perfect, you know, so, you know, I'll talk about my flaws, you know. So I am that kind of dude that, I don't know about you, but a lot of people are that way. They try to push their opinions and shit. Like, I remember a couple months back, I went on a vegan diet for a month. Actually 28 days. I almost did the whole month. But after like 25, on the 25th, 28th, between that, you know what I'm saying, I just couldn't do it anymore. I felt weak. I felt like shit. So I had to eat meat. I had to eat some chicken and shit. But I tried going on for a whole month, the vegan diet, you know, eating beans and a lot of cabbage and potatoes and soups, you know, just vegetable stews and rice, you know. And I went on I started reading a lot of articles about vegans and listening to a lot of podcasts about vegan eating, healthy eating, and watched a bunch of videos on documentaries on how animals are treated and shit. So for like a month, I was like this fucking radical and shit, you know, healthy eating radical, trying to get everyone to not eat that way, you know what I'm saying? Because I really did believe, like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying, like shit, you know what I'm saying, we can't, you know what I'm saying, like, eating these poor animals. And, you know, because, like, one example was like chickens, you know, like, did you know that when we eat a fucking egg, that the egg is really a chicken's period? That's fucking nasty, but it tastes so fucking good. So I was like, you know, I was telling people about, you know, these animals that we kill, like a cow, you know what I mean? A cow's like, I think a cow weighs like 600 pounds. No, actually, it's got to weigh more than that. But a cow is big, you know what I'm saying? And so a cow has a big brain, and cows are smart, you know, probably smarter than dogs, you know. And we kill them, you know. Don't you think that they know that you're about to kill them? You know what I'm saying? When they start going to the slaughterhouses and shit. And, you know, because it sucks to be put on earth, to be born, so you can be eaten. You know, so once you study something for so long, and like that's all you know what I'm saying, that's the only thing that's in your mind, I guess you start to become this fucking radical, you know, it's like you just like, you want everybody to be a vegan, but the world doesn't work that way, and maybe your body doesn't work that way, because shit, turns out I can't be a vegan. But a lot of times we do that type of stuff, like we learn something new, or we get something new, and we feel like everyone should do it. You know what I'm saying? Like iPhones, like me myself, I personally can't fuck with Android phones, and I don't know why people use Android phones. And I feel like, damn, everybody should have an Apple phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I got a fucking MacBook. Like, everybody, who the fuck gets a, well, you know what I'm saying? Who the fuck uses Windows? I mean, I do for my desktop, but, you know, sometimes you feel like your opinion is the best and you try to push your opinions on others. But sometimes we gotta realize that, you know, we live in a world where everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and you know, it's, everyone has their own flavor. You know what I mean? What works for you doesn't work for the rest. You know, different strokes for different folks. But that was all 10 of the things you should never do if you want to succeed in life. So take all those 10 things in consideration to become a better you. I know I will. But from what was going on in the news, did y'all hear about that China stock crash? Like, here they're comparing this shit to the stock crash of the Wall Street back in the 28 was it? 1929? Yeah, like, you gotta remember that it was the stock crash of Wall Street, you know, and the depression, you know, that the world was going through, that allowed Adolf Hitler to come into power. You know, and last week I was talking about that if the world goes into a depression, you know, people might they might want to run. They might want to elect a businessman, you know, and Donald Hitler, he might be the next Hitler, like I was saying in my last episode, you know, because, you know, tensions are rising with the North and South Korea, you know, and if they bring us into a war, you know, with China or the allies of North Korea, you know, a lot of fucked up shit can happen, and history can repeat itself. But hopefully they can de-escalate tensions, and everything will be all gravy. But on a more positive note, 3 Americans saved some terrorist guy over in France, and they actually received like the highest award. Can't remember what it was called. It was called the what was it called? I can't remember, but they received like the highest award from the president. It was 3 Americans, 2 white boys and a black dude. So, in that moment, man, did none of the motherfuckers, you know, nothing divided them, right? Like, into the world, they're all 3 of them are American, so that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the country, if people could work that way in this country, man, this country would be such a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying? If we weren't fucking divided by our color, by our religion, by gangs. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if motherfuckers in the hood weren't divided by hoods and shit, by each other's blocks and shit. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how much motherfuckers in the hood can accomplish. You know what I mean? There's a lot of geniuses, smart motherfuckers that are dead right now, or that are in prisons, all because of a fucking street. You know what I'm saying? Because of a fucking hood. There's a lot of leaders. There's a lot of musicians, a lot of rappers, a lot of, you know, people that could have been something or someone. You know what I'm saying? That didn't get to grow up, you know, and grow past that era of their lives because of gang violence, and, you know, and it's sad. So, you know, we gotta quit letting little petty shit divide us, you know, especially in this country, you know, because when it comes down to it, we're all Americans. You know, we're all here, and, you know, nobody's leaving. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans ain't going anywhere. Blacks ain't going nowhere. Whites ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? We're all stuck here, so we might as well, you know, work with each other, and do something beautiful with this country. Make it great and become the powerhouse that it's been. And try to fix things, racial tensions, and because I think that comes with. I think that maybe we need more enemies. Like maybe, and the whole world. You know what I mean? Like if there were aliens coming to invade us, you know what I mean? Like would nobody give a fuck if you were from North Korea or South Korea? You know what I mean? You better believe all them Koreans are like, you know what I'm saying? We're fighting against the aliens coming from fucking, Planet X. We're fighting the Anunnaki or some shit. They wouldn't be worried about North or South Korea and their political views. They wouldn't let no petty shit like that, you know what I'm saying, divide them. So, let's see what else is going on. Oh, coffee. There's an article that it says what happens to your body once you drink your first cup of coffee. Have your first cup of coffee of the day. After 15 minutes, your blood pressure goes up about 10-15%. Your eyes will slightly dilate and you may actually be able to see better. Your brain will feel more mentally alert after about 30 minutes thanks to the caffeine, which is why I advise drinking coffee if you're studying or if you're at the gym or if you're going to take a test or if you're going to read a book. Definitely if you're going to read a book, drink some coffee while you read. Bowel and bladder. Your bowels and bladder will be stimulated thanks to the caffeine and steroid-like compounds in coffee, leading to an urge to go to the bathroom. There you go. So if you're estreñido, you can't, take a shit, drink some black coffee, might help you with the shit, help you get the Hershey squirts. And with the stomach, the gastric secretions will increase 10-15%, meaning you'll digest food faster. So it speeds up your metabolism. And it also makes you eat less. I realize that a lot of times when I'm drinking coffee, like I don't even get hungry. I get real thirsty though, so make sure you drink a lot of water though. But I think that's it. I'm gonna get off of this mug right now. I'm gonna go hop in the shower and go brew me some coffee and get my day started. Thank you for listening to the Big Nino Podcast Show. You guys have a great day. Have a great week. I love y'all. Be safe. Stay united. Yeah.